Let me record this for anybody who don't hop on and for you guys to look at it later. You're only spending too much time trying to analyze and underwrite a deal, and it takes too damn long, and you don't wasted 20 minutes trying to make an offer and you can't find anything. Typically, if I can't find anything, man, I'm probably not going to make an offer, or I'm just going to just wait. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look back at it later on at a later date. Um, if I do make an offer, it's going to be low as hell. But ultimately, me personally, being that I look at things from the lens of being a buyer. So, and that's how we all should start looking at it. Even if you're going to wholesale the property, look at it from the lens of a buyer and make decisions and make offers like more with legit information, right? So, I'm not going to make an offer on something that just to make an offer on it. You know what I mean? Like I want to make sure it's something that I got information on. I did my research. I know what the repairs are. I know what I can sell it for, and I'll make the offer then. But if you guys just want to go ahead and just lowball and make it and just shoot it and see what happens, by all means, go for it. I mean, I'm not gonna say like that doesn't work, but it doesn't work more. It doesn't work as much as it would work. You know what I'm saying? Um, So me personally, be smart about your offers. Make sure the information is there. If you see the writing, you're doing your research and you see it there. Okay, cool. Now I'll make an offer and I'm good. I know what this property can sell for once it's fixed up. I know what repairs are needed, in order to get it to look like that one that sold that fixed up. Now I can make my offer. I can use my formula and make my offer from there, and have confidence in my offer instead of haggling with a seller, going back and forth on what they think the property is worth, what your offer is, but you don't really know because you just shooting in the dark. But when you do it from the standpoint of I know what I see and I'm confident in what I've seen, then I can stand on my number and know that if I get this property under contract, it's going to be a deal for somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is most important. But let me
I
see.
got a question for you, Ty, and I don't want to
Yeah, go for it.
confuse. I don't want to confuse somebody because I'm not sure what levels everybody at. But I know most people teach that 70% rule,
Mm-hmm.
but I have found that that works good for houses that's under 150,000, but anywhere from like 150, maybe 250, 250, 300 is different. What do you think?
Well, we're doing our offers based off of that, right? Because as buyers, that's what we're looking at. Because you got to look at it from the whole spectrum of it. Like if you're looking to get lending, and so part of the problem is people don't understand what the 70% rule means, and why is it 70%? So it's 70% because people need a 30% discount on that property. Legitimate buyers need a 30% discount on that property. And when you break off the 30%, you divide that into three categories. One category being your profit, the other category being your holding costs, and then the other category being the realtor commissions. You know what I'm saying, on the back end when you sell it. So at 30%, some people, if you got 6% for realtor commissions, you got another you know, 7% or something like that for holding costs, whatever it may be, and then the rest is going to be profit. 13 to 18% is going to be profit. That's how that number came across. So the way we do our numbers is based off of that, because then when it comes to getting the lending on the deal, you have to get the property at a certain discounted price under contract in order to get approved and get lending on from a hard money lender, right? So hard money lenders are probably going to lend up to, you know, 85, maybe 90% of ARV. But if you have the property at a discounted price, at a price where it's a home run hit, then they're going to lend on it without a problem, without having to go back and forth. So like the properties that we buy, our ARVs, where we like to be at, we like ARVs to be anywhere from like 275 to 300. And we like to get them under contract at around, 160, 170, around there, max. You know what I'm saying? We got a tight one that we're getting under contract, that we got under contract at like 225. But we just took a shot on that. But ultimately, it's we don't purchase properties in the 300 range, 400 range, whatever, because that's just not our sweet spot. So I don't know if it works for that or if it doesn't work for that. But for sure it works for the properties that we're analyzing and which we buy, which is, you know, 225 or less, which is essentially what you're alluding to.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, because I don't know, like these California markets and stuff like that, maybe it don't work there because the damn prices are too damn high. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, upstate, you know, up north, the prices are too damn high. When your ARVs and private properties are selling for, you know, 4, 5, 600,000, it probably won't work then. You know what I'm saying? But then again, like you have a smaller buying pool in that area as well. So it's a whole lot of different factors that go into it. That's why we like to kind of stay in that area of, you know, 300,000 ARV, because more people, retail buyer, you got to think of that on the back end. You know, a retail buyer family, they can afford that. You know what I'm saying? It's a bigger buyer pool for that. You know what I'm saying? Now you start getting into creeping up into the 500, 600,000s. I mean, those $500,000 houses right there. Not your average person is going to be able to afford that. You know what I mean? So that's part of your marketing strategy as well. Like your marketing needs to be tailored towards, okay, at the end of this thing, where are investors really sticking their money at, right? Because, okay, if I can fix and flip a property, I need to be able to sell it fast. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it's a $600,000 property. That don't mean nothing to me. What really means, what really important to me is how soon can I sell it after I get it fixed up. If I rehab a property and put it on the market for 600,000, that property is going to take months, a few months for me to sell it. Versus I got a property that can go ARVs at 300, 325. I can get that going quickly. You know what I mean? So that when it comes to marketing and analyzing your data, and when you get these when you start doing your data, and you pulling lists off of Propstream and all these different things, like one of your filters need to be, okay, where's that sweet spot for the retail buyers? Like where investors investing their money, flipping properties, and where are they selling that? You know what I mean? That means something that you be paying attention to. But yeah, so let me go ahead and pull up this one. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. I'm gonna do it off of Zillow, and I'm gonna do it off of Propstream. I might even do it off of the MLS just because I have access to it here in Georgia. And like I tell everybody, if you don't have access to MLS, I highly recommend you get access to the MLS. That way, you can have more tools in your toolbox when it comes to analyzing your deals. Let me share screen real quick. If you guys have any questions while I'm going through this stuff, feel free to stop me. So let me go on Zillow real quick. So here's the address. I like to do the Zillow way because it's free. Everybody got access to Zillow. So I like to do it that way, then the paid way, and then the way that you got to get connections with, right? Propstream and then the FMLS. So this is the property here. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath, 1,000 square feet, 1960. So if you guys don't already have access to the Google Drive, go ahead and go in there. There's a comp and checklist that I put together, right? That kind of lets you go through the whole process of understanding, okay, this is what I need to be doing anytime I'm looking for a property or trying to comp or analyze a property. So essentially, I go through the same process. I make sure all these things are checked. I do it mentally now, but this is something that you can go off of and make sure that you're doing it the right way. And ultimately, if you can't find 1 or 2 comps after doing this stuff the right way, then it's probably ain't worth making an offer on at this moment, until something else sells in that area. Sometimes it may need time for a deal to go ahead and sell. But anyways, so I go on Zillow. I'm looking at bedrooms, bathrooms, right? Square footage, and I'm looking at the year built. Most important things here. Another important thing I like to look at too is the style of the house, right? You don't want to be comparing a ranch style home with a 2-story home or a split level home, etc. So right, as we can see, this property right here is a ranch style. Another thing I like to pay attention to as well is if the house has a garage, carport, or doesn't. So in this particular case, this house right here has a carport. So that's gonna be a factor when it comes into analyzing and underwriting your deal and seeing what your comps are, right? So let me go hop out of this real quick. So when I hop out of this, where's this property at? It's right here. So this is the street view for where this property is located. And ideally, you want to be in the same neighborhood. But before we do that, shit gonna be running all slow because I got all these windows open. So bear with me. So key thing here, when we're doing comps, when we're looking for comps, right? We're not creating comps, we're not making a comp, we're not, you know, making a number. We're looking for a comp, right? You want to look at sold properties and hit apply, right? We're looking for sold properties. As an investor, you want to do your research and make offers off of, because ultimately, I'm sure if you guys aren't already flipping or already buying properties now, I'm pretty sure that's the end goal. So at the end of the day, you want to be analyzing these deals as if you're buying this property yourself, right? And the way you do that is doing it based off of numbers that you know for sure. So when you're looking for comps, you need to be looking at sold properties only first. If you're in a different market that's, non-disclosure and all these different things, you might have to do a method. But sold properties is what you want to be looking at, because that's what somebody actually paid for that property, right? So we're looking in this neighborhood right here. And when you're looking in neighborhoods, you want to make sure you're not crossing any main streets. So this is a main road here. This is a main road here. You want to kind of stay in that same realm, in that same area. If you go on the comp checklist, right here, it says same neighborhood, no more than half a mile, avoid crossing main roads or highways, right? Already looking at that. Now we're going into, you hit more. Now we're looking at, when did the property sell? The sooner, the closest to the current date that property sold, the better, right? You don't want to be going out too far a year ago, because the market done changed probably 2 or 3 times since a year ago. So we always like to start around that 90-day mark in the last 3 months and try to see what went on in the last 3 months, like what sold in the last 3 months, right? Am I good? It seems like the screen froze. Did that freeze up?
You good?
Okay. So yeah, you want to see what sold in the last 3 months, right? So as we go back to the comp list, we got looking for sold properties, time frame, 3 months for most accuracy, same neighborhood, we got that check. Now we're looking at the bedrooms and the bathrooms, right? So we want to do exact or less. We do not want to compare a 2-1 to a 3-2 unless we have to, right? Unless we don't have anything to go off of, but we want to stick to our script starting off and stick to the foundation before we start making these adjustments or assumptions. So let's go back to Zillow. So we're looking for, I think ours was a 2-1. I think it's legit. It's actually a 3-1 on the property is actually a 3-1. So I look here, I'm gonna put any. Right. So now that kind of minimized our options. We got one at 230 and then we got one at 170. So let's look back at our comp checklist really quick, see what else we got. Square foot, year built, right? Same decade or older. So if it's, the property is built in 1970, right? You want to be looking at properties from 1970, max 1979 and below, right? 1979 and below, you want to be looking at. Unless you're looking at properties, the ones that are exceptions are those historic houses that are built in 1950, 15 or the early 1900s, and they probably, very historic in a small town. Those properties have probably more of a value to them than these properties here, but it all really depends on the property. Now, if the property is built in 1995 or newer, you don't want to go any more than 5 years newer, because as you start creeping into the 2000s, the type of property or the type of style of house changes. And then next thing is square footage, right? You want to do plus or minus 300 square feet. So if the subject property is 1,300 square feet, we want to put a minimum of 1,000 square feet and then a maximum of 1,600. That's our window. That's our range of square footage. If you start getting into a higher square footage, the price points start getting a little higher and it's not comparable. And I know some people say, well, you can add on or do additions and all this and that. We're not doing assumptions. We're doing it based off of what we have, right? Before we make any decisions. Already went through the property type, single family, condo, townhouse, etc. Property style, already did that. Garage, carport, did that. Pool or no pool, did that. Multiple sources, we're doing that now. So that's our basis. I can't even remember what the damn properties. Hold on one second. I forgot what the square footage was on this. This was. I think it was like 1,000 square feet. Yeah, it was 1,066 square feet. So it's 1,000 square feet for that property. So we got, as you can see, we have a few that came up right here. We got this one is the same. These two are the same actually for 170, but we got one at 230, and that's a 3.2. And both of these are 3.2s actually, but the one that we're looking at is a 3.1. So with the bedrooms being the same, we can somewhat compare that, right? I would rather compare when the bedrooms are the same and the bathrooms are not, right? Than the other way around. So the bedrooms are the same, so we can compare that because it doesn't take much to add another bathroom. But you do have to understand that a bathroom does change the value. It increases the value or decreases the value. If it has another bathroom, that's going to add to it. If it doesn't, it's going to take away from it. I think in this case, this one is probably a 3.1.5. The one that we're looking at, I can't remember, but nevertheless, if it's a 3.1.5, you can look at it as a 3.2. So this one sold for 230. Same type of house, right? It's the brick house. I like to look at pictures. If I can't find any pictures, I look at the description and see what happened, what they did to it, if they did anything. 4-sided brick house, 3 bed, 2 bath. Home was completely renovated back in 2019. So right here, right now, I'm not sure exactly what they did to this property. It says renovated in 2019. What the hell does that mean? I don't know what they did to it. But what I can say is I see that this property doesn't have a carport. Ours does have a carport. So in my mind, if we update it and renovate it, then we're gonna be able to sell it for a little bit more than 230 because of that. Right. So now I don't see much here on Zillow. I can zoom out a little bit to see if there's anything more in this realm, in this area right here, because this whole thing is the neighborhood. So the thicker street is obviously the main street you don't want to cross. So I'm gonna look at this 3.1 right here that sold for 250. And as you can see, this is a modern home. They just redid it. Or is this supposed to be it right here? They probably sold the land with this. I don't know what they did here, but this is a modern house. So I'm gonna tell you guys one thing right now. You come across any properties and you comping and you start seeing houses that look like this next to a house that look like this, you might want to stay in that area because they obviously doing work. Look at this. These houses look like that, and right across the street, they did this to this. They made this house look like that. So this is an area that you want to be marketed in. This is an area that you want to be targeting, things like that. But back to the main thing. So I can't even look at that comp. That doesn't even make sense for what we're doing. So now I'm a little confused. I'm honest with you. I'm a little confused. So now let me go to Propstream. Let me see what I can find off of there. Y'all have any questions so far about the checklist, the steps, the filters?
Yeah, because the thing is, like with them smaller houses, sometimes you might get like a 2.1 that's like 900 square feet, and then you get a 3.1 that's 900 square feet. So that sometimes kind of gets confusing as well.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it based off of what the house is. You know what I'm saying? If it's off the square footage, if the square footage is the same, then just do it off the square footage, and you can use that 3.1. If you're looking at a 2.1 property, right, and then the square footage is equal, then go ahead and you can use that 3.1 as a comp. You know what I mean? Because you can easily add. Might be able to easily add that bedroom there, by just if it's a window somewhere, you can put in a closet and it's going to be a bedroom. You know what I mean? So if the square footage is about equal, and then another thing too is a lot of times some of the information is inaccurate. So that's why we have to be detailed when we're asking the questions to these sellers. Like, okay, I'm showing here that it's a 2-bed, 1-bath. And they're like, no, it's a 3-bed, 1.5. Okay, got you. Right. So if you're not detailed on asking those questions on the front end, that can jack you up on your offer. That can either make your offer too damn low or it can make it too damn high. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be very detailed.
For sure. That helps, yep.
So now we on Propstream. Now when we're looking at Propstream, I like to look at both. I hit this both buttons already selected, so I hit that. Now you want to change the date range because Propstream going to put it for like a year already. So you want to go ahead and sort that out, do like 90 days. So I do November. They already do the square footage for you and adjust that. They already put the distance for you and adjust that as for your max. I like to exclude multi-parcel sales because sometimes you might find they might have a package deal or something like that that might be in there that might skew your numbers or skew your data. So I like to take that out. Another thing I like to do too is hit single family because you might have other shit in there that might skew your data. Right here, duplex. Like we don't want to be looking at duplexes, so we hit single family and then we'll minimize it down to what we got. You can put a max on year built. So this was 1960. I will put 1969 as like the max year built. And we got two options right here. We got one. Let's see. This one sold for 275 right here. And let's look at what we got. It says it's a 4.3. So we can't even compare that. Same year built, so we already know that's in range, but the bedrooms and bathrooms don't make sense. This is a 4.3, but I do want to see what this house looked like. Because that can be wrong, right? That can be wrong on Propstream too. Because if I call this homeowner, it might be less than that. Who knows? So that threw me off. I'm not going to be looking at that one because of the beds and bath, right? But then you have this one right here on Bell Avenue. This one sold for 170 estimated. So let's see what this one looks like. 170. Pull it up. So yeah, that's the one that we saw on Zillow, right? 170. So I'm still confused because this Propstream is not giving me much. So now I go to the FLS, the MLS, see if I can find anything on there. And obviously I do this a bit quicker. That's not even the property address I want.
Is the MLS you had based off of a connection?
Yes.
All right.
And that's what you got to do. You got to, I mean, everybody know realtors in their family or have somebody that's a friend or somebody, some sort of realtor connection, right? You just have to open it up and have the conversation. Tell them what you do and provide value, right? Say, hey, man, I'm an investor. I wholesale properties from time to time. I was seeing if you would be open to, partner up on some deals. Sure. There's some deals that I get that I can't do anything with. The sellers, they want to list the property and I don't even have anybody to push that listing to. Like we can, would it be okay if I send that listing your way? Yeah, absolutely. We can work something out. They're not going to turn the listing down. And then from there, you can say, okay, well, would you be okay with, at least adding me to your MLS platform or giving me access to the MLS so I can run my numbers and do my comparables? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to keep bugging you all the time about doing that. And that's all I'm going to do on there. And just build that relationship and do it that way. You know what I'm saying? You might have a few people that's going to say, nah, I don't trust it because they like to play by the book and they all, how people are. But if you keep working and keep talking to people, it's a numbers game too with anything, right? So just keep talking to people and exchange that value. And everybody's MLS looks different. So I've seen different states and it looks different. So this is different, probably gonna look different from wherever market you in. But ultimately I like to look at close, right? I just recently started doing pending and active under contract. And the reason why I started doing that because I talk to real estate agents and when we're looking at flips and looking at taking properties down as flips, and I ask them like what they feel the property is going to be worth, that's what they do. They look at that. They look at, oh, it's pending or active under contract, and it kind of give you an idea of what that property could potentially sell for. But ultimately, you really want to focus on what actually closed and what actually sold. So I'm looking at it from here. So I got a map view. The ones in blue are the ones that actually closed and sold. The ones in orange, I think, are pending, and I think the one in yellow is active under contract. And it already has that radius that we're looking at. This is 1/2 mile. Remember, this is crossing the main road, so this little guy over here, not even gonna pay any attention to that because it's not in our area, because it's not in our neighborhood. But I am gonna look at this one. Is that 171? That's the same one we've been seeing. We got one right here, got another one right here, and another one right here. So I'm just look at both of these. See how this one says 2-bed, 3-bath. How does that make sense? And this one closed and sold for 289. So I'm looking at this guy. It's in our range, 1970. Our property was what? 19 something, I can't remember. Yeah, 1960. So it's a little 1 year out of our window, and you can tell the difference in the build. Like ours is full brick, but it does have a carport. It is ranch style. They did update it. Look like they did floors, paint. They may have tiled that, or that tile was the same. They put the stone countertops. These are new cabinets, new appliances. So this is like a basic little rehab. They did the bathroom. All right, cool. So this might be an ARV I can look at, right? Maybe. So I'm taking a mental note down. So that's 289. And I'm looking at days on market. This thing was on the market for 6 days. So that's a good sign. That means this area is pretty active. If you put something on the market, it's going to go. So 289. Okay, I'm taking a mental note of that one. Now let me go back to my map. Let me see the other one. But I really want to see what beds and bath this was, because it says 2-bedroom, 1 bath. This was 1,400 square feet. So this one is 300 feet, 400 square feet more than our property. So that's probably why it's a little bit higher. So this is when you kind of start getting into estimating and all that stuff. But I wait till I'm done looking at everything before I start estimating. So here's another one, brick house, no garage. They blocked it off. Probably turned that into a bedroom. Looks like they finishing up rehabbing this one. They kept those same floors. They just cleaning them up. Updated the kitchen, new cabinets. A kitchen like this probably cost them probably about 8,000 to 10,000 to do, with all the backsplash, cabinetry, granite countertops. So probably about 8,000 to 10,000 on a kitchen rehab to look like this. The appliances themselves are going to cost probably about 2,500. Right, cabinets is probably going to cost about 25 to 3,000 for the cabinets and to install. Backsplash probably going to cost about 2,500. I mean, the countertops 2,500. Backsplash costs you probably about 1,500. So that might be an ARV there. Let's see, but it's a 4-bed, 3-bath, so it's a bigger property and sold for 275. So I'm not even going to count that one. I can't even look at that one. So for me, I'm confused. I don't even know what this shit is worth now. So I'm looking at this one that sold for 230. This is the first one that we was looking at. Finally got some pictures of it. Basic. Basic. So I'm looking at this. They ain't even finished this thing. Like what? They ain't even like, what is that? So they just sold it as it was. They ain't even finished doing anything they were supposed to do to it. But for this one, I would probably use the 230 to be on the safer side. I wouldn't use the other ones because obviously the beds and bathrooms are too big or more. So 275 doesn't make sense. 289 doesn't make sense to me at much either, because this is a different style of home. And I'm not comfortable with saying this is going to sell more than the one that has four bedrooms. It just doesn't make sense to me. So if I was to be safe, I would do my numbers off of 230. When you're doing comps, you want to be conservative. Use a conservative number. So I would do mine off of 230. It could probably go 250, but I'm going to say, I'm going to say my ARV is 230. I'm going to do my repair cost. and then I'm gonna do my numbers. I'm gonna do ARV times 0.7 minus repairs, and that's what I would buy it at. And if I want to wholesale it, I just subtract my assignment fee from that, and then that's what I can offer to the seller. Y'all got any questions about that? All right, cool. But yeah, that's what I would have done. Like initially, when I do my comps, I don't go Zillow first. I always go FMLS first. I probably would have found out off of FMLS if it's worth taking down or not, if it's worth pursuing or not, or if I would have came up with an offer. Or I would have found what my ARV was. But here, you know, I think in this area, as we saw like a new rehab or like a modern type house was being built over there, they really doing some work in that area. I would definitely try to pursue this property depending on what I can get it under contract at. And that's where that's where I'm at with it, right? It's a good area. If I can get it, if the sales price is, if ARV is 230, I would try to get it under contract for half of that, right? 125 or something like that. Just to make it simple, right? As long as the rehab isn't over 100 grand or over 60 grand or something like that, if you get a property in the contract for half the ARV, it should be able to go. All right, so let's see. Look at Jason's. We got 2515 Ashcraft Road, Dayton, Ohio. So let me put this thing up on Zillow. Hope that helps. So this is what we got. We got a little 2-1 here, 700 square feet. Look at the home details. This guy, how old is this? 1926, old property here. So remember, it's the same kind of format, right? Where does this shit go? I got all these screens up. That's why it's going so slow. So let me put this in Zillow again. Where is it? I hate this shit. My bad, y'all. Damn, what kind of area is this?
Yeah, it looks weird, but it's just like his backyard. That part don't count on the property, like, cause he owned the next one right to the right of it.
This one?
Yeah, he owns that, but he about to sell that right now. He got that under contract with somebody. But this one is just like it splits off right at the backyard, so it's not the full lot.
Yeah, it's like right here then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, what is this? Because like this property line is lined up with his. It look weird. I don't know, but anyway, we'll look at it. So same deal, right? So we identify where this one's at. It's right here on Ashcraft. So let me zoom out some more. I really want to stay like in this area right here. Is what I want to see. So I'm gonna look at sold. Then I'm gonna change this to 2-bed, 1-bath. It's a 2-1, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna apply that. And now I'm gonna go to 90 days, apply that. Ain't shit going on in 90 days over here. So I'm worried. If that's the case, what you can do, you can pop this back 6 months, right? Still nothing going on over here in 6 months. Right? So now I don't see anything on Zillow. Now what I'm about to do, I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing in Propstream and see what comes up in Propstream. Go here, comparables. Remember the date range. And as you guys can see, everything is the same order. It's like the same order of operation. You do the same thing over and over and over again. It's all steps. Man, ain't shit going on over here.
Yeah, that shit fool.
How much you want?
He asking 50. I think like 50.
He asking 50?
Yeah. I had offered him at first. I had offered him 46. Because majority of the comps are on the left of that highway from what I was able to pull up.
Mm-hmm.
And he had some technical difficulties looking at the contract. So I was like, yeah, it goes for it. But then I saw something sell for like 42 on the other side. So I re-offered him around 40. And then he hung up the phone on me because he was upset. So I'm going to just keep following up with him.
You want 50?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's too high.
Yeah,
Like,
it needs
even
work.
his estimate is 63.
Exactly, yeah.
And his estimate ain't end all be all, but you know, if I want to do a quick little look right here, I mean, got a 2-1 sold for 42. Even though that's on that side, I mean, if that's what you got to use, that's what you got to use. This one sold for 59. So, I mean, I would ask him if he would finance it, bro. I mean, at that point, you know what I mean? Say, hey,
Yeah.
you know, this is what we can do. Like, you know, I understand that the cash offer didn't work for you. But I can pay you the 50 if you would do it over the course of X amount of time, and we can do monthly installments for it. If you can finance it to us, I can pay you your 50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah,
That
he
might be
had,
the best bet.
and he said it cash flow. I believe it was about like $850 a month.
How much he paying in rent? How much he getting in rent?
Yeah, around $850.
So he's getting 850.
Yeah, and it's free and clear. And he just say he has a medical condition. That's why he's selling.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he kind of needed the cash. So I didn't really talk to him about a creative deal about giving him that financing. But even when I re-offered him, he was just like, "Yeah, I don't want to tie my money up."
Yeah. So he
So
just wanted to be cash deal.
yeah,
Yeah, because I know one thing that can probably help it out. Just say, hey man, we'll give you a down payment at closing. I mean, if that's the money, if you need that money for help or medical or whatever, that might be an option for you. Like it's a down payment at closing. And then we'll pay you installments over a period of time. Obviously, you're not going to get $850 per month from you, right?
yeah,
Because the shit is renting for $850, so it doesn't make sense for you to pay him $850. You'll probably pay him half of that. But yeah, for this one, shit, I would have probably offered him 30
right,
off the rip.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But he's just asking too high of a price. I mean, you know, even if I'm looking at this estimate, let's say this estimate is right, and it's not always right, but if I'm looking at this estimate, because their algorithm is just pretty much like what's going on around in the area, whatever, and they come up with an estimate. I would use that because I can't find anything on Propstream.
yeah.
So I would just go off this estimate and I would offer him half of that and see if I can make it rock. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I would do. But you already offered him 40 and he rejected it. But just follow up with him every 2 weeks or something.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I would do in the situation because I'm looking at it like, bro, this one sold for 24, this one sold for 42. 59, it can possibly sell for 60, but I'm not 100% sure. But in order for me to make money and get it to somebody else, it got to
Right.
be at a good price. You know, it got to be, you know, if I'm looking at that this one sold for 40, so if I get his at half of 40, half of 63, you know, I'm at 30, 31, 32, you know what I'm saying? I could probably get it off of 40 something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Even at 40 is still a little bit high.
Yeah, it might be a little tight. You know, you might be, you know, looking at a $2,000 assignment fee or something like that. But it's
Yeah.
still profit at the end of the day. But that's what comes with when you're dealing with, you know, properties that are lower in price. You can't expect to get $10,000 assignment fees on a property that's worth 65,000. You know what I
Right.
mean? Unless you just got a steal of a deal, which is possible for sure. But more often than not, then you know your assignment fee is going to be a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
And that's
Not.
okay. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, as long as you can move them quick. If they smaller, you just play the volume game and just move them. But for something like this, offer them half this estimate, see if it stick. If it stick, cool. If not, okay, cool. I'm gonna just keep following up with this guy and keep putting that 30 something in his face, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, until he's like,
Yeah.
okay, you know what? I'll take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Because somebody else, they're gonna try to lock it up for 50 and probably fuck him on the contract, and then he's gonna be like, you know, and then that's gonna reset his expectation down a little bit. But if he would have took the 40 that you offered him, I definitely would have locked it up and then try to shop it around, see what I can get. And then if I got an offer at 36, then I would call the guy and be like, listen, man, you know, we're gonna need to, you know, come renegotiate this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure. Appreciate that.
Yeah. What we got? Cat, she always got these weird ass properties to be comping, man. What you got today? Let's see. Let's see. Okay, St. Louis, a different area now. Let's see. Duplex shit. Looks like a duplex. Is this a duplex? Which is a multifamily. So this, you're gonna have to do it off of the cash flow. So you're gonna have to figure out, yeah, you have to find out what each unit rents for, and ultimately find out what the cash flow is, cash on cash return, return on investment, cap rate. That's what's going to determine the value of this. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to find, because when it comes to, because this property is going to go to a buy and hold investor, and every buy and hold investor has their own way of analyzing and underwriting their deals. So like, I might be looking at a cash flow from a cash flow standpoint. So if I'm able to bring in, let's say if it's four units, I'm able to bring in 3, 6, 9, 12. I'm able to bring in $1,200 cash flow per month. That might be okay with me. But there might be another investor that's buy and hold. They may want a certain cap rate, you know what I'm saying, or you know, return on their investment, or how fast can they recoup their money on this investment to determine the value. But let me see if I can find something, Cat. I don't know. We'll see. I would do it off of, me personally, I would just analyze it and underwrite it based off of how much the property can generate. We'll see if we can find what some other duplexes sold for in this area. Look at these pictures. It ain't too bad. Let's see. Let's see what's in this area. I'm gonna just keep all the date ranges the same because this is different, unique. Property type. I'm gonna go ahead and change that to where's the duplex at. See, I'm looking at this. It's so weird. Let me see. You always bring me these hard ass properties. This one sold cash for 10.5. What is that? That doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm stumped. I don't know. I have no idea. Let me see what this one look like. Does it look like that one? No, this one looks like a duplex. This is a 2-unit. Are properties expensive in St. Louis? Like, is 100,000 a lot? Is 80,000 a lot? Is that like what the value of properties are over there? Is it cheap in St. Louis?
St. Louis pretty cheap.
Really?
Yeah. I had picked up some at a tax sale in August, and like ARVs on them are like around it's almost like what I showed you in Ohio. It's the
Yeah.
Midwest. So you could get the 40, 40, 60, 80, around that range.
Yeah, let me see what this one look like. That's one I already looked at that one. These are tough. See, I don't do duplexes, so it's like, and all these prices are just all over the place.
But I thought you only consider it cash flow once it's 5 units plus. When it's less than like a 5 unit, you could just comp it like a regular house. I've heard that before. I'm not sure if that's accurate though.
If I'm looking at a property because at the end of the day, you're gonna be looking at who's gonna be your end buyer for this. It's gonna be somebody that's gonna live in it, or is it gonna be somebody that's gonna be pretty much an investor that's a buy and hold investor. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you have to underwrite and analyze it from their lens. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, because that's how you got to look at these deals now. Like, if you get a deal that come across your desk, your first question should be your question should be, okay, who's going to buy this?
Yeah.
What type of person or what type of buyer is going to buy this deal? You know what I'm saying? So when you analyzing deals like this, duplexes, etc., if it's not if it's easy to comp duplexes, you kind of look at it like, they easy to comp. There's a whole bunch of them, etc. Because there's not a whole bunch of duplexes in Georgia, so I don't even see these that often. But when I do see one, I'm looking at it from a rental standpoint and underwriting it from, as how much how much income that property can bring in. Because I know that's what my end buyer is going to be looking at. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to be wanting they're going to ask you those questions. What's the rent rolls? Or are there tenants on month-to-month lease? You know what I'm saying? Like all these different questions about possibly keeping those tenants in there. You know what I'm saying? So this shit right here is it's all over the place. And that's probably because of what I was saying earlier. It's like, okay, some people may have a different type of way of analyzing their deal, and they might want cash flow per month. They might want the cap rate, cash on cash return. You know what I'm saying? They might be looking at different things. So this is probably why this shit is all over the place. And this is what throws me off. I'm like, how can you can't analyze it based off of what they paid for the property, like just like that. I don't know, okay, you might have to holler at somebody in St. Louis. And what the hell are you doing in St. Louis? It's crazy to believe that this property right here is like 60,000.
Yeah, St. Louis got a lot of like multifamilies, like the duplexes,
Yeah,
triplex
this shit
together.
do remind me of Ohio a little bit.
I think they call them row houses almost in a sense, but it's a lot of bandos up there though, like vacant properties though.
Yeah.
A lot to where it's like you go on one block and find out that the housing authority owns like 10 properties.
Mm-hmm.
So it's slowly going through the regentrification process, but eventually city of St. Louis will it'll bounce back.
Yeah, I ain't never seen this before. Let me see. Yeah, I can't even determine value on none of this stuff. It really just depends. Like I said, the best way I would do it is how much the property can bring in. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do it under, the 1% rule or whatever the case may be, right? So if the property can bring in, if the average rent is 1% of what you paid for the property, then that might be a deal. You know what I'm saying? So if the rent is $1,000, and let's say the purchase price of the property is 60,000, and then you put 40,000 in it, and you're all in at 100,000, that property is going to have to at least rent for $1,000 for it to be a deal for you. And that's just looking at it quickly. You know what I'm saying? Underwriting it, analyzing it quickly. But yeah, I can't help you on that one, man. That one sucks. Stop bringing me these tough ones, man. Bring me an easy one. Let me see what else you got. Was this one in St. Louis too? Talbot? No, this is Indianapolis. All right, let's see what we got here. 5-bed, 3-bath. This is in fair condition. Not updated and it's not terrible. It's fair, it's livable. Built in 1895. It's an old ass house. I promise you, there's no old houses like that in Atlanta. I ain't seen none. Let's see. I think the oldest house I've seen in Atlanta is like 1918 or something like that. All right, let's see what we got working with here. Talbot, Indianapolis. Shit's so damn slow, man. Let me find out where it's at. It's right here. All right, so it's this property right here. So same old thing, right? We look at, and this might be one of those, what is this? And this might be one of those cities where each street is different. But we'll see what we can do. So let me go to sold, bed and bath. I'm gonna do 4+. This was a 5.3. So let's see what we got. All right, and then we're gonna look at sold in 90 days. This is like ARV to me. Yeah, they updated this one. 675 for 4.4. But it's over a main road. 3,100 square feet. This one, 26. Let me see what else we got. Let me go on Propstream real quick. So same old thing, right? We do our look back, see how long, do what, 3 months. And single family residential, that's what we want. We don't want any multi-parcel sales. We take that off. This was built in 1895. Let's see what else. 1895, 1955. So you got some 2018s, 2018, 1910s, 2000. See, this shit right here be throwing me off. I hate all of that. Let me go back to this one. $315. Yeah, you are. 1895. On this one, I'm just going off this estimate. I'm be honest with you. This estimate says 310 because I can't find anything. I just can't do it. I'm gonna look at this other one again that I just saw. What was it? Because I didn't look at the year built on that. Where is it? But it does look like these, if you update them the right way and modernize them, they can go for 600. Where is it? There it is right here. When was this built? 2016. So this not this. Yeah, it's tough. This one is tough. I would probably just go off the ARV that they got on Zillow. They said his estimate is 310, and it looks like that might be right. Let me see what happened here. So they listed this joint for 350. They almost had it for sale. Then it got canceled, listed again for 315, and they got it pending for 315. So it looks like around 315, they're getting bites on it, but something's going on where they're like, I don't want it no more. But I think if you update it, you can probably get that 500 for it. But that's just me thinking, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing concrete. It's nothing that's like legitimate for me to make a logical decision on it. If you want to just shoot them like 250 and see if they bite on it, you can. But for me, I wouldn't even make an offer on this personally. I made an offer for 255 because they countered back at 260. Well, lock that shit up and see what you can do then. Hell, it might go. It might go. But yeah, I would probably do 250, see what happens. You know what I mean? At this point, worth a shot. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so go ahead and roll the dice on that one. What you got, Kevin? Post it in the group. I'll look at it. You always come in here with the hard properties to comp, man. Hate it. What you got, Kevin? You got one? And I'll let this one be the last one. If he puts it in the group, put it in the chat.
My fault. I got you right now. I'm in this traffic right now. I got you right now. Give me a second.
Okay. But yeah, main thing is, man, don't overthink this stuff too much because it's gonna have you, going crazy and wasting time. If you see something and you can't find a number or whatever, you can do one or two things. You can leave it alone, come back to it at a different time and date, or you can just make a low offer and see if they bite on it. But you make that low offer, it's still basically off of nothing. So it's like, okay, we'll see what happens. And if you take that route, you can't be upset if you don't sell it, or you can't be upset if you can't find a buyer. That's just the route you chose to take. You just took a shot and took a crack at it. But ultimately, by doing that, you will learn, okay, this is what it could probably sell for, because you may get some people that might give you some offers. You might get some people that might be interested. And they'll tell you where they need to be at. So then now what you've done is you learn kind of the area. You done had a conversation with buyers and you learn the area. So now you're more knowledgeable about what's going on in the area and what you can get properties under contract for and what they should be under contract for. So that's a good thing, a positive out of, just shooting in the dark and then seeing if they get signed the contract. But ultimately, the main message I want to get across is, yeah, we want to send out offers as often as possible, but we want to make sure that our offers are legitimate offers that we've done the research behind. We actually saw what the property can sell for. We know what the repair amount is when we talk to the seller after asking the questions, and we put it in our formula, and we underwrote the deal, and we made an offer that we know if they sign the paperwork is going to get closed. And that's essentially what we want to do. And then there's going to be times where you do take the chance. You know what I'm saying? We do that all the time. There's properties we just take a crack at, take a chance on because it's maybe an area that we don't know, or we may saw a comp that probably was a little iffy and we just decided to roll the dice and see what happened. And sometimes those pan out and most times they don't. But I don't want you guys to get into that habit of doing that, because that's not effective. You know what I mean? You want to do something that's effective. And even if it takes you a while to get that deal done, as long as you're doing your process and working through your steps, doing it the right way, comping the right way, and creating that muscle memory on how to do it and do it efficiently, then you'll be able to make offers more effectively, more quickly, and then you'll be able to really spot a deal when you see one. You know what I'm saying? So if you keep doing it over and over again, you see that ARV is 300 and you know, the seller is at 150, shit, you should be ringing a bell, especially if the repairs are like 40, 50K. A bell should be ringing like shit. I know if I get that on the contract, I could sell it. You know what I mean? Because you done did the ARVs, you done looked it up so many times, you know exactly what the hell you're looking at. So it's easy to identify. I got you, Kevin. 1260. Let's see what we got. So let me go to the MLS real quick. If y'all got any questions, let me know. So since this is a deal that's in Atlanta, I'm gonna look at the MLS first. Here, East Point, hot area. Active under contract, active pending. So we got 13 matches. Whoops, I gotta change that to 90 days. 90 days. So now I need to see what type of property this is. Look at that. It's for sale by owner, so it's a 5-bed, 2-bath. How does that make sense? Oh, this house needs some work. Yeah, my man's he looking at it like, yeah, this house needs some work. All right, so this is what we got. So the estimate is showing me 250. Okay, we'll keep that in our back pocket. It's saying multifamily. Is this the duplex?
Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
Yeah, looking like that. But let's see. We'll see what it says in a second. Yep, East Point duplex. Side 1 is 2-bed, 1-bath. Side 2, 3 or 4-bed, 1-bath. Very spacious. So here we go. This duplex stuff. All right, so let's see what we got. 5'2", 2,000 square feet, built in 1985. Let me see what we got here. Okay. Go to the map, see what's right around it. This is pending. This is a single family. This is not a duplex. See. Probably not gonna find any duplexes on here. Nope. This is in the same area that the other house was. I knew it. That street is familiar. All right, so let's see. Let's go here. Go to good old Propstream. Come on now. What we got?
So what you mean look for? You mean look for like single family? I mean single and multi?
I do single family all day long. That's
Okay.
my bread and butter.
All right.
Yeah, I stick to that because I understand it more.
All right.
Let's see here. Property type. Yeah, this is probably gonna be something similar to what I was telling Kat. It's probably gonna be based off of the income. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because like you gotta look at it from that standpoint. Like you're not going to be able to renovate and flip this thing and put it on the market and expect a family to be in there. You know what I mean? To purchase that. You know, chances are, because it's a duplex. So the
Right.
perfect buyer for this property is going to be an investor. And the way
Okay.
that they analyze and they underwrite their deals is based off of certain things, right? Like they're going to be looking at the cash flow. They're going to be looking at the 1% rule. They're going to be looking at the cap rate. They're going to be looking at the cash on cash return, the return on my investment. So they're going to be analyzing from that. So you're going to have to look at, okay, how much can each side rent for, right? Total that up together. Market rent, right? So the market rent, let's say market rent is 2,000, right? Each side can rent for 1,000. No, I'm not even gonna say 2,000. This is Atlanta, so that's probably gonna be 1,500. So 3,000. Let's say each side can rent for 1,500. So that's 3,000 a month. If it's market rent, meaning this property is gonna have to get fixed up, and we already see it needs work. So when you're calculating the market rent, you can't just do it based off of what it looks like right now, right? Market rent is, okay, the property has to be in good stand and good condition, right? So this is not going to work. You're not going to get market rent with a bathroom looking like this. You know what I'm saying? It's missing a sink, So you have to take into account, like, okay, this investor who's going to buy this, they have to put money into this property too, right? So now we need to look at, okay, the amount of repairs. Okay, so the repairs, we got to calculate that. Drywall needs to be done, bathroom needs to be done. It's like a whole bunch of shit needs to be done up in here.
Sorry to cut you off.
Nah, go
How
ahead.
do you calculate the repairs? Like, how do you even get where you get those numbers from? You gotta call up, like, get quotes from, like, contractors.
Well, yeah, ultimately that's how we figured out like what things really, really cost, right? We talked to buyers, right? We had conversation with buyers that do rehabs, and we said, hey man, what are you paying on a kitchen renovation? Oh, you paying this? Okay, what are you paying on floors per square foot? Oh, okay. What, $3? Okay, cool. I'm writing this stuff down. You pay $3 per square foot on floors. Okay, cool. So now, in order to find out how much floor is going to cost, now I take $3 and multiply it times 2,000 square feet. Okay, so in order to do the floor is going to run me probably about $6,000. Okay, now what about paint? Oh, you at $250 per square foot on paint? Okay, now take that, multiply it times a square foot on the inside of the house, right? That's going to give me probably about 5,000. All right, so we're already at 11 grand on floors and paint, right? Now I'm looking at it. Okay, windows. How many windows need to be replaced? Okay, the window is cracked or bust. It need to be replaced. For each window, it's probably gonna run you about $250 to $300 to replace a window. So I would say $300 to replace each window. So if you got 10 windows that need to be swapped out, you're looking at another $3 grand for windows, right? Now you're looking at kitchen. Okay, how much is it gonna cost for a kitchen? All right, to get new stainless steel appliances, it's gonna probably cost you about $2,500. That's fridge, dishwasher, stove, microwave. Probably gonna cost you about $2,500. So okay, that's part of the kitchen. So that's for kitchens, appliances gonna run me $2,500. Now I don't even know what this kitchen look like in here. But now I'm looking at it from the standpoint of a flipper, right? So if I'm trying to rehab this property and flip it, I'm trying to put pretty decent stuff in it. But now we have to think about it too. Like if I want to get max rent, people are putting granite countertops in these places. People are putting stainless steel appliances in these places, right? So you have to start doing it like that too, right? Okay, I don't have to put in the top stuff, but I do have to put in some stuff, right? I can't get away with putting in a laminate countertop and expect to get maximum rent when the house down the street got in granite countertops and you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense.
Right. Okay.
Because you got to look at it from a tenant standpoint. Like, okay, well, what's the difference between these two? Okay, they want 1,600. They got granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. This guy, he has black and white appliances, and the countertops don't look the same. And he wants the same price. Hell no, I'm not going for that. I'm going for the 1,600 one, the one that is look better. But ultimately, like I said, 2,500 for stainless steel appliances. Then let's say you want to do stone countertops. That's about 2,500. roughly. So you're looking at $5 grand right there. Now you need cabinets. Let's say you need to swap, like, do they even, like, what is this? They don't even have cabinets in here. So you're gonna have to put some cabinets in here, right? Cabinets are probably gonna run you about $2 grand. So you're already at like 7 G's, right? And that's just for the materials. That ain't even for the labor.
Damn. Sheesh.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you're looking at probably for this little kitchen though, this little area right here, this might be 6,000, probably about 6-7 grand to do this little area right here.
Okay.
But if you're talking about a nice size kitchen, you're probably looking at about $10,000. And I know that because that's what we paid to get a kitchen done. You know what I'm saying? Bathroom, you know, depending on your guy, you know, we can do this whole bathroom for $3,500. You know what I'm saying? If we want a stand-up shower, that's gonna cost you about $2,600, maybe $3 grand. Tile shower, stand up. If toilet, $100. Sink, probably $200-300. For the vanity with the sink on the top, and then flooring and all that stuff. You have to count that goes into the calculation when you do the floors.
Okay. That's
Um,
the whole damn house, mostly.
oh yeah, this whole house needs to be done for
Yeah, whole
sure,
house, right.
for sure. So like I was saying, like you have to do the repair cost on this too, right? So let's say this house, I'm gonna just do the damn thing while I got it up here. Let's see, why not? We're here. So I like this is the little rehab cheat sheet that I like to use to determine what things cost. All you gotta do is plug in a number, and it's gonna spit out a final number on what the rehab is. So when you're talking to these sellers, ask these questions about all this stuff. So I'm looking at the pictures. Let me see the outside. So I'm looking at the pictures. This landscape is horrible, horrible. So I'm gonna go ahead and count for this. I'm gonna put all new landscape because I want to make it look somewhat nice, right? Windows, I don't know how many windows. See, if some of these windows might need to be replaced because they got a lot going on them. I don't know what they got going on, but that's what you need to figure out once you go look at the property or get pictures and things like that. You need to go look and check out the windows. I'm gonna just say it needs, 5 windows. Right? No garage door, don't need that. Clean landscape, you could put some that's gonna go in with all new landscape. Full kitchen update. So this one has like 2 kitchens. I would probably put 12,000. I'll change that to 12 and go here, put 1, right? Full bathroom. How many bathrooms this thing got? 2 bathrooms. So I'll put 2 right here. Boom. Flooring. We're looking at flooring at $4 per square foot, 2,088. I'm just gonna put in the square footage. 2,088. It's gonna cost about 7 G's to do the flooring. Paint, $3 a square foot, 2,088 square feet in the house. It's gonna cost about 5,000 to do the paint on the interior. Exterior, I always cut it in half if we do some painting outside to make it look a little bit nicer. Gonna run that to 2,500. New door and trim. So that's just the new doors and trim on the interior of the house, like in rooms. So we usually account for that if the doors and trims are like brown, outdated, the doors are fucked up like that. Like I'm gonna account for that. So for this property, I'm just gonna account for damn near everything. New doors and trim, that's 1. Furnace and AC. That's if, let's say, the condenser unit is outdated, need to get replaced, or let's say the furnace needs repairs or need to get replaced, whatever the case may be, we're going to account for that. But let's say it doesn't have any of that. Let's just say it doesn't have central heating in the air, right? And it doesn't look like it has central heating in the air because I see a fan right there. I think I seen some window units. Did I see a window unit? But that's a question that you ask the seller, right? Does it have central heating in there? Is the unit working, etc. In this case, I'm gonna say this house, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? But it does have central heating and air because that's a vent right there. But it might not even work because the vent is closed up. I don't know what's going on in here. It's a lot.
Yeah. So quick question for you. Do
Yep.
you recommend putting houses that's like beat up like that on the contract, or something that's a little bit more decent?
I mean, if you get it at a good enough price, somebody will buy it.
Got you. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it just depends on the price you get it at, and that's what we're gonna lead to in a second. So let's say, you know, HVAC, central heating and air. Let's say we got to do a whole new unit install. So that's gonna be around 10 grand. Um, the roof, I don't know what the roof looks like. Let me see. If the roof needs to get replaced, let's see. That roof look a little. Oh no, I gotta get a closer look on it. Don't look too crazy. I need some work. That roof needs some work. This house needs a lot of work. I'm gonna put a new roof on here. New panel, that's the electrical panel. New water tank, water heater, basically. I'm gonna put a new one there. I don't know if it needs a basement. Pool deck, siding, etc. This is for all the extra stuff. I'm gonna put that down just cause. And probably is gonna need that. Now then I gotta ask questions about the plumbing and electrical to see if you know how that is. And I'm looking at probably about 70 grand on this rehab on the low end. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I just determine my rehab costs. 70 grand to probably get this property looking somewhat decent. So I'm looking at it, okay, 70 grand. So as a buyer, right? So if I'm looking at it as a buyer if I'm looking to buy and hold this, so I know I need to put 70 grand into this property, right? 70 grand. If I'm doing it based off of the 1% rule, which means the market rent needs to be 1% of my all-in cost, that means $230 might be the max I can pay on this. If I can get $3,000 in rent.
30.
Yeah. But that's granted everything checks out, right? That's granted, you know, rent is $1,500 per unit. That's granted if there's no other additional repairs or things that need to be done, electrical or fucking plumbing, right? So that foundation or whatever, that comes with other additional inspections. A house like this with this much work, then you might have to do a little bit more digging and do a little bit more research and spend your time on a little bit more because it has so much.
Gotcha.
It got a lot going on.
Yeah. All right. So that repair chart you just pulled up, is that in the Google Drive?
Yep, it's in there.
I have the same question.
Cool.
Yep, it's in there. Everything that I use, it's in there. Y'all got it.
All right.
But yeah, that one, yeah, so it's either that or offer this dude low as hell. I mean, I'm looking at it. They just put this on the market, you know, a few days ago, like 2 weeks ago. 45 people interested.
Yeah.
I mean, the price is probably somewhat decent. You know what I mean? At 179, that might be a doable price. Might be a doable price. It just really depends on what market rent is in this area. Let me see something real quick.
I was looking around. I seen a couple of like I didn't see no like rehab houses like in that street,
Mm-hmm.
but in the area I didn't look.
Yeah, do like a half a mile radius.
All right.
Invalid street address. Yeah, so it's saying rent is probably like, let's see. So let me see. So this one, see at 2,100 a month, 2-bed, 1-bath. Rent is 2,100, 2-bed, 1-bath. But this one, you see, they got updates in there. It's like they did the kitchen. They updated that property. So you might be able to get more rent. Another one, 2,100 a month. This one, 2,000 a month. Yeah, so rent down here is pretty high. Well, high is relative and subjective. Nevertheless, yeah, I mean, it's a good rental play, maybe, but it's going to require a lot of money to put into it to get it to that. So I mean, at the price that they're asking for, it might not be a bad price just by eyeballing it and looking at it right now. Obviously, there's another calculator that I got that I don't even know how to use it really. My boy Mike knows how to use it. He shows me how to use it, but there's another calculator to see exactly what's a good price off of this. Trying to refinance it and seeing what the cap rate is and the return and all that shit. Once I learn how to use that, I'll show y'all, but I don't even know how to use it yet. I understand it, but I don't know how to use it. Can't teach it yet. But yeah, this might be a good price for this property. I don't know, to be honest. For sale by owners, 179. Hell, he probably gonna end up selling that shit for like 150, 130, depending on if the right person come across it and just be like, yo. They'll probably lock him up at 179, say, yeah, we can do it, and then price cut him at the end.
I was looking at another property and I came across the same seller. So I'm assuming he got like multiple houses. That guy that's looking at the houses right there.
Yeah.
I came across like 2 houses that his name was on the seller's list. So I don't know if he lived there. I don't know if he's selling them. I don't know. And like on one description, he was saying he's waiting for the marshals to evict the tenants and all of that stuff. So like,
yeah. Yeah, but I mean, that might be something. I mean, shit, if you want to talk to him and see, if you can make an offer on it, it's for sale by owner. So that's one thing that's good. It's not no realtor involved. You can just give him a call, like, yo, can you do 150?
yeah, that's funny. They said, I think he's a wholesaler too. I'm assuming because I've seen about 2 or 3 houses with his name on there. So I'm like, this guy's probably wholesaling as well.
Ain't no telling.
Yeah.
It says what infinite. It might be a wholesaler because look, it says owned it for 5 months. I don't know what's going on with this stuff like that. If it's confusing to me, bro, I'll be honest. I do not fuck with it. Like if it doesn't make, I just don't. Like if I'm like, bro, so many red flags. I'm like, nah. Like when people send me deals, I see another company sent the same deal. I'm like, now I'm not even gonna mess with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I don't know who owns the deal, who's controlling the deal. Like I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, bro, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like to be direct to seller myself. I like to be direct to seller every single time because I am in control. I know what's going on. I don't have to worry about all the confusion. If there's a question I need to ask, I can directly call the seller and be like, yo, how old is your roof? Or yo, when do you want to move out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So versus trying to go through somebody else and they bullshitting you and pulling you by the leg and they lying for no reason. It's just too messy, man. So yeah.
I appreciate the help. Sure.
Yep. Y'all got any other questions about anything? Could be anything. It don't have to be comp specifically.
Hey Ty.
Yo.
I'm kind of like stuck on like where to start exactly. And I talked to somebody else from the chat and I'm just stuck. Like I don't know where to start. Like I'm understanding how to do the comps and everything, how to search up the property. Like I know how to look for like what like the 150 don't go below or above like the 250, like stay in the like sweet spot and whatnot. But like I don't know like where to start.
So you need to get you a list of property owners. That's step number 1. So you need to like start sourcing and start putting together a list of potential seller leads or potential prospects that you can market to. And that's always step number 1. Step number 1 is build your list of property owners so you can reach out to. Right. So, and the ways you can do that, like you can use, like I said, Propstream, what I've been on, right? I've been on this shit. You can use Propstream and you can create a list of like vacant home, like you can put in the zip code, and I'll just show you real quick.
Like the distress listing and all that stuff.
Yeah, you can do that. I think Propstream is just best for vacant and absentee owners.
Okay.
So like real quick, let's say 30144, right? You see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep, you go in Propstream. No, what's your zip code? What market are you in?
I'm in Snellville, so 30039.
30039. My first deal, well, not my first one. One of my big deals I almost had was in Snellville. Fucked it up. Hell yeah, I got hot, mad. I didn't know what I was doing, but it pissed me off. But anyway, so 30039. So Snellville, Georgia. In Snellville, there's 17,000 properties in Snellville in that zip code, right? So if I want to just find a list and get a list of just the vacant ones, so I'm gonna go to my filters. I'm gonna go owner occupied. I'm gonna do no because I want vacant ones, right? This is just to start out so you can get your feet wet and then start rocking and rolling. Occupancy status vacant. Okay, so it's not owner occupied. Nobody lives in it and it's vacant. Now that 17,000 or whatever it was went down to 170. So right now I got 170 vacant properties in Snellville that I can reach out to.
Okay, that's like potential, right?
Yeah, potential.
Okay.
Right. And now I want to look at property characteristics, right? I want to filter that out because I want to make sure I'm contacting homeowners and not investors, right? So I'm gonna go to first I'm gonna do the classification. I want to do residential. So that knocked out like 60. That knocked out like 80. Yeah. 70, 80, whatever. And then I want to go to the type of property, single family. So that knocked down like 3. Right. So now I got 93 options to call that are not owner occupied, they're vacant, they're residential single family houses. Right. Now, on market, no, I don't want anything on market. And I hate on market properties. I hate when people send me on market properties because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to pan out for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't target on market because there's a realtor involved. Sometimes they don't know what the hell they're doing. They never work with investors. It's just a lot more you have to worry about dealing with on market. So I just prefer me personally, and everybody has their preference. Not saying that you can't make money on market and close deals on market. People do it all the time. But me personally, I think it's easier for you to go direct to seller because you'll get a better price and you'll be able to have control of the deal.
Okay. Yeah, so I do all the gurus and stuff, man. You talking about with the realtors and all that stuff, and that's why I was like kind of confused. Like,
yeah, like I told somebody the other day, I said, listen, man, I wouldn't recommend doing that for your first go around. Get some, understand the process, understand the terminology, understand what you're doing, and then you can start working with realtors on market and all that stuff. That way you have confidence, you know what the fuck you're doing, and you can relay that information to them, and they like, okay, I got you. I know what's going on here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then next thing I would do, owner type, right? Individual. So that's going to take out all the LLCs and all that other stuff, right? So now we have 41 vacant properties in this zip code that we can reach out to. And if you want to do one more thing, well, 2 more things actually, the equity, right? The property got to have some sort of equity in order for you to make money on a wholesale transaction. So we put at least 30% equity or more.
Yeah, so you mix the bread, right? Okay.
So it still keep it at 41. So most of these properties have 30% or more equity, which is good. And then lastly, I like to do estimated value, max on estimated value. I don't like seeing $1 million properties. I don't like seeing $500,000 properties come into my pipeline because we don't have buyers for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do like a max of 350 on estimated value. So that'll knock it down by half. So you got 20 opportunities right here. Right? So what you'll do, you'll click that, select all, add to a list, create a list, you'll name it, Snellville vacants, right? That'll be your list. And you save it to your computer, you skip trace it, you go to a website, batchskiptracing.com. All this information is in the group. If you got a question on it, just ask it. Batchskiptracing.com. You upload it to this website right here, right? And it's going to spit out all their phone numbers for you.
And any market I'm interested in, I can just do the same process.
Yep, you do the same process. So like if you want to keep those same filters, like those filters are going to be the same. Right now you got 20 properties. That's not going to be nowhere near enough to get a deal done.
Yeah.
Out of these 20, you might call them, you might speak to 1 or 2.
Okay.
Right. So now we need to go to another zip code. We can use the same filter, right? Let's just go Snellville is in Gwinnett County. So let's just do the whole county, Gwinnett,
Okay.
and see how many we get in Gwinnett. So we got in Gwinnett County, there's 251 vacant properties that have 30% or more equity that are valued at 350 or less.
Mm-hmm.
Single family, owned by individual people, blah, 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 blah. 250, that's enough for you to get started so you can start talking to people and executing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not enough for you to get a deal done. Can you get lucky and strike one there? Yes. But realistically, no.
Okay.
I always recommend you're going to have to probably 10 times this number. You're probably going to have to get about 2,500, maybe 3,000 addresses that are skip trace that you can contact.
Okay.
Now, that's just one way to get some properties to build your list, right?
Yeah.
Another way, you can go to code, you can get code violations, right? I love Google. A lot of people ask questions, but they don't like to ask Google. There was a website, I'm about to date myself real quick. It was called askjeeves.com before Google. Whenever we had a question, we used to ask Jeeves. Same thing with Google now, right? So another way you can get a free list, code violation list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Code violation list or code enforcement, let's say Gwinnett County. And it's going to require some effort. And this is what a lot of people don't like to do. They don't like to put in the effort. So I'm gonna have to hunt for this code violation list. This list, a code violation list, is pretty much a free list of people who have current code violations,
Mm-hmm.
such as right here, junk vehicles on the lawn, trash, tall grass, weeds, exterior buildings. So basically, someone who's not taking care of their property, and somebody put a code on it.
Okay.
So now I need to get a list of these people, and I'm gonna just get the addresses, right? So I got to do my research. I got to look. Okay, where can I find? I'm gonna have to start reading. I'm gonna have to start contacting people, right? Hello, can I get where can I get email right here? Emailing people, calling people. Hey, I'm looking to get a list of all open properties with open codes or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they'll send you an email with the list. And then from there, you just have to skip trace it. I wonder if I have one in my Gmail.
I see somebody in the chat said they had to pay to get like a list of some like code violations or something like that. It was a
right.
girl.
It was, yeah, that might have been in her market.
Uh-huh.
Or in a certain county, because every county is different.
Okay.
So this is one I got a long time ago, a while ago. Well, I didn't get this one here, but this is an email that I sent out. And look, I sent it to so many different people. I sent it like 5 different people, and this is all I said. How would I go about viewing or obtaining a list or file of properties with current active code violation? And this is one that I actually got back. Right? So I sent one out. Ladies, I listed code violation. She told me what to do. Please go to this link and submit an open records request, So that part is what's going to take some time and take some effort and take some digging. And that's what people don't do, right? They'll just stop right there and be like, oh, I can't find it. Oh, that's it. Oh, they didn't respond back to me. Oh, they didn't email me back. Well, no, you have to be persistent and keep going. And that's how you get a list of that stuff, right? So code violations, that's one way to get some free data.
Okay.
Obviously, you're still gonna have to skip trace it and pay for that, and get the phone numbers, but that's that.
Yeah.
That's 2 ways right there. Vacants and code violations. You can start building your list there. If you want to drive around in the neighborhood, driving for dollars, you can do that as well. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't do it anymore. I used to, but starting out, I did. Because that's what I was told to do, right? And it's a good thing because you learn, you start seeing and knowing areas and seeing what areas are being worked on and being invested in, and you're like, okay, I need to be focused in this area, and you know what to look for, right? Tall grass, broken windows, tarps on the roof, signs in the windows, signs on the doors, just property looking vacant, like nobody lived there, right? those are things to look for when you're driving for dollars. You can start jotting down those addresses of properties that look like that, right? And then now you're starting to compile your list of properties.
Mhm.
Now, as you're compiling them, now, like I said, you go to that website, batchskiptracing.com, and you skip trace them to get their phone numbers. And then now the next step from there is to contact them, whether you want to call them or you want to text them. You just need to contact them to see if they have any interest in selling that property. Now, that's when you have to be persistent, consistent, right? You have to keep going, go through your list over and over and over again. If you have the 250 of vacant, the 250 vacant ones in Gwinnett County, and you go through it one time, nobody, you got some leads out of it. Somebody said yes. A lot of people said no. Obviously, you take the no's out and you go through the ones that didn't answer, and you call those again, and then you keep going. Then you start sending them text messages, right? And then there's softwares that you can use to do that more effectively and efficiently, right? You can, people talk about them all the time in the group. If you want to text people, you can go to REI Skip or REI Reply or batch leads or launch control if you want to text them in bunches. Or if you want to use a Google Voice phone number and you want to just get started, to start texting them manually and then calling them manually just to get started. And then you like, okay, I understand it. Now I need to be more efficient. Now I need to invest into the softwares and stuff, right? Now I can sacrifice and invest into, okay, these different softwares to make me more efficient, to talk to more people at a shorter period of time. And then from there, that's how you get started. And then you just start compiling those up. And then that's when you get into the conversations about the condition. And then that's when you get into what you understand already know how to do, is looking for comps and all that and making your offers, right? And then it's just the same cycle over and over and over again.
Okay. Yeah, I answered my question. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Get started now. You got no excuse now.
No, for sure.
5 minutes ago, you didn't know how to get started. Now you do.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
For sure. Anybody else got anything?
Well, I got one more question.
Yeah.
Are you because it seemed like you can be more proficient if you have like a team. So like when you went about like getting your team together, like was it family or was it friends, or did you just like was asking like friends or something? Like,
yeah, when I started, I used my Facebook network. Hey, I'm looking for properties. If you know somebody looking to sell, let me know. I used to do that shit all the time. I still do it to this day. I told my friends, if you see any vacant houses or any properties that look like shit, send them my way. Send me the address, and then we'll work together on it. I'll split with you, whatever, right? That's how you get your friends and family involved into this.
Yeah.
So they can start sending you over opportunities so you can, do what you got to do.
Yeah. Okay.
And then obviously, when you start hiring people, that's a whole different level, when you got the funds and the finances to hire somebody to do the job specifically for you, like a virtual assistant or something like that, which is not that expensive, but you definitely don't want to be firing people because you can't pay them consistently,
Yeah. You think doing commission based would be smart or not?
I mean, I don't know how many people taking that nowadays.
Facts. Okay.
Yeah, we had somebody do a commission only, and they only lasted 2 weeks. Got up out of there real quick.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's what I'm here for. Anybody else? Doors open. So who closing deals next? Who's next? I need to see more deals being closed by y'all. That's what I want to see.
I mean, I jumped out the window. Well, not jumped out the window, but my fear was cold calling. So I did that first. I did that first cold call, but 2 days ago, after I read your script, after I read everything that you sent, I called this house. I could actually send you the address, matter of fact. I still got it.
Is there scripts in the chat?
Huh?
Is there scripts in the chat?
It's on the drive.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, on the drive, yeah. I offered him. He told me he had a few offers. I mean, he was talking, he sounds serious. He said he's an investor. I mean, he's an investor. He sells a lot of houses and stuff. But the house was a piece of shit. But it was like 37,000. Let's see if I still have it here. Yeah. It was in Macon, Georgia, actually.
Ugh, hate Macon.
Terrible. Yeah, I saw a lot of them too. In Macon. Dirt cheap. I'm like, am I supposed to look at those or like, nah, like I don't know. I'm confused when it comes to that too.
I
Like
mean, it just depends on how you want to go about it, right? Like I was telling Lucky earlier, like it just really like if you target those areas, the price points are lower. So
Yeah.
when the price points are lower, you can't expect big money out of that unless you're doing a lot of volume.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Macon, you had to have the right buyer for Macon because and you have to be in the right side of Macon too. Not all Macon is shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
some of Macon is decent. You know what I mean? It just really depends, and that's what it comes down to, having a conversation with some people over, like some buyers over there, or some people that operate in Macon. Like, okay, what's a good area? What's a good zip code in Macon? Like, what's a good street in Macon that people are interested in? Like, because Macon is a war zone. All this bandos, shit boarded up. It's bad in most of the in
Yeah.
Macon. It's terrible. Like we moved out of Macon. I ain't trying to deal with Macon at all. If I see something in Macon, I'm shooting them low, like super low. Cause you gotta think about it. If he's asking 37,000, ain't nobody gonna pay him that.
Yeah, he was telling me he had a few offers. He had one for like 20, 22, 27.
Well, you should have jumped on him.
I hit him with the 26. This is before he was telling me his numbers that he had got offers for.
Mhm.
I hit him with 26. He's like, oh no, I already got the 26 from somebody already. So I just hit him with 32 to see where his head was at. I know it wasn't shit, but still, I was just filling it out because that was my first cold call, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was like looking at other area. I mean, in that same area, in that same county, but all the houses is shits. Like I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
it's bad. It's bad. Like I was talking about earlier. Like Macon, if it's if it's bad, like if the prices are cheap, man. Like you really can look at the Zestimate and just cut that in half and make that your offer and see if they bite on it. Just to
Okay.
make it easy. Don't overthink those shits.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. Yeah.
And then obviously, because it's going to be a numbers game at that point, and this is going to be about you following up. So don't, when you make your offer, don't just leave it and just be like, all right, he ain't want it, and that's the end of it. Nah, hit him up, hit him back in 3 weeks, hit him back every month until he sells it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And
Yeah.
that's that follow. That's where that starts. Because anytime you get somebody who's interested in selling a property, you need to already have that person in your CRM, and you need to be having them already like, okay, this is an opportunity. It may not hit today. It may not hit in 3 months. It may hit in 6 months, 7 months, 8 months down the line. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
up to you to make sure that they stay in your pipeline and you keep that follow up. You know what I mean? Just like when you go shopping somewhere, you give them your email. We get emails from all these damn companies every fucking day.
Yeah.
You
That's
know what I'm
true.
saying? And it's ultimately the same thing, but it's a little bit less aggressive when it comes to this because obviously, you know, it didn't make sense, right? At the time. So it's like we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna keep targeting the same people because that's a lead. That's somebody who was open to listening to me, open to an offer. If the offer would have made sense for him at that time, we would have
Right.
probably closed the deal. Now I just needed time to beat him up a little bit, let him get fucked up and fucked over by these other wholesalers where he can't sell it. And then now, boom, maybe he comes down to his senses. Maybe he's more desperate. Maybe, he got to make a decision now or whatever the case may be. And then now that's when you capitalize.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I just sent it over. It was see, yeah, 3075 still up there too. Like it's a complete shit show. But I was testing the waters, man. I had to get out that phone call and fail.
You got it. Yeah, you got out, man. You got out, and it wasn't as bad as you thought it was.
Right, exactly.
It's just conversation. That's all it is. It's just conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's like, all right, if you don't agree to my number, that's fine. There's somebody out there that will. So I'm gonna go to the next person. We're just not a good fit right now. And that's not a problem. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Shit.
Anybody got anything else? Anything. All right, cool. So this call, I'm gonna go ahead and save it. I'm gonna save it to the drive. The monthly Zoom call drive with everything else. It probably won't be up there until maybe Monday, but there's another one of a comp session before that we've done before. So you guys can look back at that if you want to. I'm gonna try to do these like once a month, man. I want everybody to be kind of sharp at doing this. And I'm probably gonna change up how I'm doing it too, seeing if you guys can walk me through the steps, see if you retaining the information, doing it right on your own. But we're gonna do this once a month, along with other, specific topics that you guys suggest or you guys recommend or things that you guys need. So if there's anything else that you guys have suggestions about that you need help with, go ahead and put it in the suggestion channel on the Discord. And so I can look at it. If it's something that I feel like everybody can benefit from, then I'm definitely gonna, put some time into doing that. What else? Make sure you got access to the drive, right? You use the drive. There's a lot of resources in the drive. Just make sure you, take some time and just go through everything. I got recorded calls in there, me talking to people, different type of situations and scenarios. There's deals that I've closed and I put them in their own separate folders in the recorded calls so you can see the conversations as they progress until the deal closed. With talking to sellers and things like that. So there's some things that you can take away from that for sure. The next thing that's coming up, we got another call on Wednesday. We're gonna be talking about data and building lists and things like that a little bit more in detail than what we did a little bit earlier today. And then we got next Friday, we're gonna do role play. The role play is gonna be done on the Discord. If you look on the voice channels, it's going to be done in there. So if you guys want to participate, just want to listen, chime in, feel free. I'll act like a seller. You act like yourself. You can use a script. I don't care. You can freestyle it. I don't care. And then we'll learn together. We'll critique it. We'll see what we could have did better. Things like that. And then after that, Wednesday, our monthly real call is going to be on February 8th. We're going to be talking about, marketing the cash buyers once you get a deal under contract, creating processes on how to do that. And then I'm gonna just keep adding stuff to the events as we go along, as I get ideas or as you guys suggest them. But other than that, man, y'all have a good freaking weekend. Have a good Friday. I want to see some more closed deals. I want to see some contracts next week. I want to see some more wins. I want to see some more accountability. I appreciate y'all for tapping in onto that stuff, because that's what this community is about, man. It's about getting better. The accountability is there to get better, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's you reading a book, whether it's you eating a meal that you normally don't eat, a fucking salad or some shit like that, trying to get better. You know what I'm saying? So outside of that, man, if you guys need anything from me, you guys know how to contact me. I appreciate you guys for tapping in. And yeah, y'all have a good rest of the weekend. Y'all be safe and go Giants. God damn it.
I appreciate you, man.
Sir.